I forgot it does this.
Jack off.
That's a big boner! No, please don't. Please don't. No.
Suffer mode.
No. No. My hair looks so good. Before we keep going, if you guys have not seen the previous 11 episodes, look up here in the corner. I gave a very half-assed review of the last ones. Super hot shot. Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest, it was okay. Not because of the Power Rangers themselves, I just didn't like the coach character. She just came off really annoying.
Which, I mean,
none of you are getting your money back.
Which I think it was the intention, but...
Hey, nobody's told you this, but you're like the best one here.
Really, me?
I do appreciate that the show is breaking the mold of previous Power Rangers that I've seen, where the fights aren't concluding by the, like, all the way.
Yeah,
like the fact that they didn't even like they
destroyed.
tried to like fight Slither, and the fact that Slither got away not once but like 3 times, I thought that was really good.
And the what was it was like a fish monster. To be fair, I thought that
the clam monster, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a clam that they saved for the next episode. I honestly thought because the coach was being such a bitch that she was a monster, but no, she was just
just a bitch. Just
honestly, though, it is accurate to some gyms. I mean,
you want to talk about it?
I actually had an encounter with
you won't say the gym.
A meeting with a.
We'll just say
am I allowed to say that?
The name of the gym correlates to something in this image.
He was interesting. I mean, he had like his own custom damaged red Obi-Wan lightsaber he showed me to distract me from that I was signed up for a $2,000 trainer deal at a gym. So I felt real to home this episode. But as for the main story, it's whatever. It's just a little development for Izzy, which we get plenty of later in the season. But I thought it was a good lesson. It was kind of funny how gullible like Zeta was to the gym. But
I do also he
broke the.
I do also think it was. I also do think it was a good showcase of Izzy's true personality and how generous that she actually is as a person, because she ends up giving the lessons away for free instead of charging and being like, "Give me your watch."
Yeah.
Now that the fact that you mentioned SpongeBob, that was funny though, because like I know we keep saying that Power Rangers on Netflix, but SpongeBob's not on Netflix anymore. Unless you're in Canada. Which segues onto the great point. This video is sponsored by Surfshark
VPN.
Do you want to watch blocked content like Netflix shows, Hulu shows, other streaming service shows, YTPs, or stay on a safe public Wi-Fi? Change your location to get better car rental prices and airplane plane tickets? Never get locked out of your bank? With Surfshark VPN, you can do a notorious amount of abilities with its service. You can access certain apps and websites that are banned in certain countries, like for example Facebook and China. Never get locked out of your bank account when you're in a different country. Your app will never freeze, allegedly. Be safe on your Wi-Fi when you're at a Starbucks and you can look at websites more privately. When you connect, you can have access to over 15 of the largest countries' libraries on Netflix. You can access BBC Player, Hulu, and any other limited streaming service apps on any device. Gaming console, computer, laptop, phone, iPad, tablet, iPod Touch, we still have that shit. A Nook. With my free trial, you get 30 days money back guarantee, and just in case you don't like it, use the code UNKNOWN to get 83% off your order, and you get 3 full free months. Surfshark VPN. Secure your digital life.
The next episode's the Matchmaker. Ooh, I hate to sound based, but no, the episode was fucking great. The episode was great.
And luckily, there's still actual fans that supported it, and then there was the fucking people who I can't even.
We'll put it like this. Basically, in layman's terms, in this episode of The Matchmaker, Javi is trying to hook Izzy up with this guy named Andre?
I think Andre, but here it is if I forget.
It's right here in front of my face. You see Izzy with this girl named Fern early in the episode, and they're training together, and then Fern says that she doesn't date boys, which then says, oh, Fern's a lesbian. Which then implies, oh, So that means Izzy must be a lesbian, because the way that Izzy acts around the other guy, she's like, no, I'm not interested. And then by the end of the episode, you see her and Fern holding hands.
And
they're not making out. They're not on top of each other. They're just holding hands. Like, the fact that just that alone pissed so many people off. First of all, grow the hell up. This is 2021. This is a normal thing. And as a gay man myself, I found the representation to be nice for a change. The fact that they weren't in your face about it, and it was a normal thing that we do.
It felt realistic because Javi, like, he kept saying, like, oh man, she's acting different. Like, are you wearing perfume? And then he actually confused her, like, oh, you're probably just like one of the guys in the friend group. And then when he finally figured out the truth, you know, he apologized. And I don't know, it just felt like a real thing because, you know, if you're not, when this issue of, you know, coming out, and they don't come out, then people assume, and then they make mistakes like that. So I thought it was, I mean, from what I've seen, for the first ever representation of the show,
I agree.
Is a very accurate representation.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I also what I really appreciated about it was even the fact that there weren't people that were like, ew, lesbians? Or like, oh my god, you're a lesbian? Everybody went with it.
If they would have negative reactions in the episode, then it would be written by Riverdale writers. Then it would be a, like, actual conflict that would be unnecessary and dragged out to the point of like, well, wait,
to the point where it goes for a whole season, and
we're supposed to be fighting Boy Night.
To the point where it goes for a whole season, and then like by the end, like it's not even satisfying.
You realize you wasted your brain cells on this show.
Exactly. 14's Old Foes. This is the one where Ollie goes through the haunted maze.
Oh yeah.
This is where that one dude.
From just anything, watching this episode may not mean to a lot of people, but to, you know, like along Mighty Morphin fans, they rock about Lord Zedd, and he wasn't destroyed in like one episode. They're planting the scenes for season 2, and I know why they brought Lord Zedd back. I know you're asking about that. It's because this whole show's theme is pretty much kind of like the subtle origins of every power of the Power Rangers, because not really any season really explained what the morphing grid, you know, what's the connections, how they're created, and why is there like other dimensions like Dino Charge and RPM. This show is, because of the rumors, I don't know if it's still not confirmed, because of the rumors this being the last Sentai adapted before they do the movie reboot, they wanted to go back to the basics and just connect everything, and that's why literally the morphing call is linked to the morphing grid, because they want to connect everything. So they figured, why not bring Power Rangers' most iconic and original villain that wasn't from the G-Ranger Sentai, Lord Zedd. And I thought it was an interesting way to bring him back. It was just necromancy from a monster, a weird Romanian accent monster. The voice is a little weird on Lord Zedd because he sounded nothing like that in the original. I know they couldn't get the. I don't think the voice actor's even alive anymore of Lord Zedd. But the reason why it's weird is that the voice actor that's voicing Lord Zedd is the same one as Evox or Venjix, which is this. He was like one of the best versions of the Disney eras. He just has a very robotic voice, but when you hear it on Lord Zedd, I don't know if it fits. Like I guess I don't know why they chose to do that. Maybe they just, you know, going down the line, I'm like, oh, you're fine. Well, one thing I gotta mention before I forget is when I was rewatching it with you, you know, like the plot is not going to be as deep as like many Sentais I've seen, but one thing I really do like is the comedy is really funny. Like the past 10 season have been just forced down your throat, but this show can get like really funny at times. Like they poke fun at, I mean, they do their normal puns, but like they just feel more like natural. The Rangers like kind of poke fun at each other. They also poke fun at like the many Power Ranger tropes, like, oh, they always grow, or I hope they have insurance when like a fucking building or a car blows up.
Because my issue with past seasons is they say these jokes and it's like say it's like a rock monster, time to rock and roll, and then you can it's pretty much you have like the cast going get it? We made a pun. That's the joke. Whereas this one, yeah, they're making puns, but as you were saying, other members are like, yeah, that was weak, that was cringy, yeah, don't.
Yeah, they play with it, like they give you a wink. They're not just like accidental cringe. Like they know what they're doing, so they throw you a bone. They don't they know that this is cheesy and ridiculous, so we're gonna have fun with it. It's not just gonna be a very confusing season. The problem with Halloween episodes in the past is they always have to do a clip show because like some seasons have like budget episodes to keep filming down. So what they do for the Halloween and Christmas, they always do like clip shows to go pass on it. But compared to the other clip shows they've had in the past, I mean, there was still meat and potatoes to this episode. There was actual, fight scene. Blue Ranger got a little bit of development with him not being scared of Halloween.
Yeah, my only thing that kind of made me go, what, is when Solon goes, "Who wants a hell drop?" and then she throws it and they just stand there. I thought I would have at least thought that the wolf monster would, I don't know, hit it out of the way. But no, he just went.
I think that snout is pretty heavy for him to move at all. I mean, he fell for it twice. But also, they also stand when they morph. And then, like, when monsters do stuff, then the Rangers kind of, do the same. So it's, like, honorable respect to just be like, no, go on. Yeah, good. Pose. Do it. Oh, we're so good at posing.
Storm Surge. This one was good. I liked this one a lot.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it's another, like, Blue Ranger and Black Ranger development, but then also plants a little bit of seeds for Gold Ranger and the mysterious, like, tension he has between Zedd and Ion. Yeah, I thought I was pretty good. I'm still a little annoyed that they keep falling for Slither's tricks, especially since now the voice actor is straight up just being the disguise and sounding just like Slither. So, I mean, I know that's the whole point of his character is that he keeps going to throw him off. But I don't know why the Rangers can't, like, figure out, like, wait a minute. Who gave us this laptop until it's too late?
Yeah, I do like the fact how he goes, that laptop came pretty conveniently.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, now you guys are clicking with
it. I don't care, it's the best bottle.
And I know I'm coming off a very bad cop in this video, but I'm also just going back and thinking about it. There's a lot of episodes where Ollie is learning a lesson. Like,
there was quite a lot.
You would think that after a few of these episodes, his character would improve, but he keeps doing shit like this. Like, he's very much like egocentric, and he very much is acting in his favor. Like, the laptop, this episode's a great example, because there's a scene where Javi and Ollie are having an interview, and the whole time Ollie's just doing math to figure out how many gumballs fit in the machine. And it's like, dude, I get it, but you're like, you would think that at this point him and Javi are like somewhat close.
Yeah.
And that he would respect Javi enough to do the interview.
I think they do that just because they know the character is an asshole, so they really, like, expose all of his flaws for the whole season.
Yeah, I guess.
I just don't know, like, I hope they don't. I think they did it enough for this season.
Yeah, I'm hoping that by season 2 they're not doing more episodes. They're like, look, Ollie's an asshole. Here's how we're gonna make him better.
Because
here's another way he's an asshole.
He even became, like, jumping ahead of it. He became like one of the saving heroes in the finale, because he was the one that wasn't captured. So I think they did enough for what Blue Ranger had to do. Of course, we're not done with them because there's still more episodes. But yeah, we planted a Gold Ranger seed, and now we have ancient history. And it's a little bit weird controversy with this episode. I read on Twitter from the director that he legally cannot have conflict with the Rangers for more than one episode for unknown reasons. Or at least unknown reason to us.
But that's right, we talked about that on our streams, which, by the way, you guys should totally watch our streaming channel. We're currently streaming Far Cry 6. We've talked about it multiple times on the channel. If you guys want to hear us talk more about this Power Ranger content in general, as well as behind the scenes stuff, our own opinions on other stuff outside of Power Rangers, we talk about it on our streaming channel.
So twitch.tv/SuperUnknownPerson. And then if you miss any stream, you can also go to Substreams for the archives.
Great segue.
You do those more often.
I felt the need I had to do that. I have to be shameless.
There is a plot point where apparently Zedd is responsible for allowing his people in Rafcon to create the Sporix Beast as a defense mechanism, but Ian saw through that and said that that was actually a horror idea and they're too dangerous. And so they fight, and then it turns out the Sporix wiped out their whole civilization. So there's quite a lot of, like, I don't know, weights on Zato. And then, the Rangers get pretty peeved about that. And honestly, I mean, it's a pretty understandable conflict that at first when I watched episode the first time, I was like, I still feel like the Rangers being a little too mean about him. But at the same time, if they're being put through all these fights and then they realize the culprit is literally sitting right by them, you act out in rage. You're not justified. You're just like, man, fuck this guy, whoever is putting us through this crap, or just a guy that wants to revive his wife.
Yeah, this was another episode where I've watched this one. I think I watched this one a couple times.
Yeah, I watched it
once out of order, and then I saw it again when I watched through the whole season. And honestly, I think what this episode did well is to just show that the Red Ranger knows what the fuck he's doing. Because the thing with Ion is Ion kept saying, I should be the leader, so then he does stuff, and then of course he gets them in trouble, and everyone's like, you're the leader, what do we do? And he's like,
He got too cocky and he almost got the Zords. And well, they almost got the Zords.
And another way that shows
Like
that Zato knows what he's doing is even he goes, we need to get out of here. Yeah, the Zords are destroyed, but we will be safe.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes admitting your own faults is part of being a good leader, and I think that was good.
And it's poetic that they had to like escape the Megazord twice, just like the old Rangers that they used to work with that unfortunately they passed when Gold survived. So it was a nice little parallel, I noticed.
And
then we got this. And then we got this.
They fought.
They fought
Not
this.
Megazord,
They fought this robot who just kind of came and gone. If you've seen the Sentai, he's a little bit
What was the
bigger.
sports beast? It was the pirate guy.
It wasn't a sports beast. It was just one of another robot general, which we'll probably see in season 2.
The pirate guy.
His name was Shipwreck or Wreckmate, and he was just a pirate. There wasn't much to him, but
the fight scene was cool because you could tell that it was
really
you could
cool.
tell that it was a soundstage with water effects over it. But I still appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah, there's not many
Because it was
Sentai
practical.
scenes where you see that. Like that was a really nice practical.
Also,
set.
I just like the Mosasaurus in general. I think it's a cool dinosaur.
Yeah, I don't think we've had. And in the other 3 Dino seasons, we had Mosasaurus with at least the main Rangers. Maybe as an auxiliary, but not a main. So it's very unique. Unlike having a T-Rex 4 times in a row. Neither is Massive.
This is
hero.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of this. I don't really have many words for this episode.
Yeah, this is pretty much Gold's filler. I mean, he kind of, from what I remember, it's just kind of he's letting the hero-ness get to his head, which I do get. The only thing that didn't make sense is that he was he took him on the offer of giving like free ice cream or an extra amount of ice cream for like ever or whatever because he saved the guy.
Yeah.
And Javi's like, no, that's wrong. You can't take that offer. That's mean. Like, what if I run out of ice cream? But I mean, I guess would have been a viable answer, but he didn't give anything. It was just
I think,
how dare you?
Yeah, I think the whole point of it was being a hero doesn't mean you're doing it for accolades. You do it out of the kindness of your own heart.
Yeah.
Like you're not just you didn't save the ice cream cart guy because you wanted to get a reward out of it. You did it because it was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so by Ion taking that reward, he just spat on his own character and his own honor because he's just saying, oh no, I meant to do that. Give me free ice cream. Where Javi's like, no, we did it because it was the correct thing to do and we're nice people.
It's just when they already spell out so many obvious things, it's weird when they don't spell out that lesson enough, or at least in like the correct way. And that's
well, they did, and they ended up doing it when out of everybody, he was the only Ranger that showed up to the thing because he wanted to be honored, he wanted to be rewarded and showered in praise, where the other ones are just doing it because they want to help people and they're trying to be nice about it. They're not expecting a reward. They're not expecting praise.
And I could have sworn Slither fooled him again in like another.
Bro, if we had to take a shot every time Slither fooled a Ranger, we would die.
But shout out to the voice actor. He's probably having a blast with this role.
Oh no, Slither's a great character. The guy who
he literally said like curses. He said quadruple curses. Like he said it 4 fucking times after a new thing he got foiled. Like he's just having so much fun with this goofy bishop.
Yeah, I even like the fact that he telegraphs all of his moves.
Yeah, and whether it helps him or hurts him, the first time he did it,
100% hurts him because if the Rangers actually listen, they'd be able to counter him, but they don't.
When Red Ranger did it, he went slash dodge. And then he kicks the henchman at Noble Sacrifice, and then fucking hits him in the face. So he's a fun villain. He hasn't really done like much things for himself. He just kind of just is the fuck around villain. And
yeah, he's a lot better than Mucus. So.
And he is still alive, and so is Mucus by the end of this season.
Well, yeah, they're just in the thing, right? The wormhole or whatever.
No, they got out of it and got to the Christmas episode when he drew himself, and they got.
That's right.
So he's still around. They just they haven't dealt with him.
Anyway. 18 cross wires. This is another super. This was a definite 100% a filler episode.
Yeah, it was a green and blue, or a green.
Was trying to impress her girlfriend by saying that she knew what she was doing, but she didn't. But this also, I think what this episode did a good job of showing is how people have different ways of learning, or at least people have an easier time with different approaches to learning.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know that, like, with professional psychologists, there's no such thing as a visual learner or a kinetic learner or an oral learner.
Yeah,
like, they're not real learning styles. But what I do believe that they are is those are different ways that make learning a new topic a lot easier to approach. Like, for example, for myself, I have a much easier time learning something when I'm doing it myself, when I'm hands-on doing it. I see the action and then I do it. I have a lot easier time with that than just reading instructions.
I'm a very more of an auditory learner. If I just hear... Well, actually, no, if Ollie told me to take out the flux capacitor, I would have fucked over the team as well, because I don't know the flux.
Because that was the main conflict, was the fact that there was this sleeping machine, and Blue expected Izzy to know what she was doing because she said she was going to ace the electronics test, and she didn't. So Ollie sat down with her and gave her a visual guide on how to do it, and it ended up saving their asses. So I felt in that aspect the episode shined, but other than that, the episode was just like not the best.
That's one thing I've always been back and forth on, is that the biggest problem with more like Chiplin, late Chiplin era seasons is that the filler B plot took precedent over the A plot in terms of importance, but they still expect you to remember the A plot, and that started being a problem since Dino Supercharge around like the mid-season of that.
I need to finish that.
Yeah, I mean, there's still good attributes part, but the best part of that season is the A plot. Is the stuff with Silver, with Heckle, with the Dark Engine, all that. That's what I remember. That's why I made videos on it. What I don't remember is during the Silver Doomwing Energem plot was or they're doing a fucking singing contest for the new NZ group. That was going on while Doomwing was fucking shit up. Like, I don't give a shit about that. It has nothing to do with it.
Cinnamon?
Yeah, that too. That was like episode 14, and I was like, dude, this is what we're coming back to. I don't know what is the deal with that, but like, this is just a segue, like, or a tangent, because if it's weird is if you compare that to like Samurai and Megaforce, yeah, they're bad or mediocre, but they still had more plot going on because they're either just copying the Sentai or they're just making up their own A plot nonsense. But that's it. Which is hard though, because then if they're only doing A plot, then they're not doing any development for the characters, and then they're very shallow. So when Dino Charge came along, they had a good like case
balance.
Because they had a plot of finding 10 Energems, and that kept them going. There was something to look forward to every episode, with the filler having the exact same time they're finding the Energems. So that's good combined shit. But the problem with that is, the end by season 1, they found 8 out of 10. So they had 2 Energems left. So what did the writers do? Fell asleep, because they just like made like these fillers more important than like a dark energem that can fucking destroy the fucking earth, and it did. So
I'm pretty passionate.
And then when Hasbro bought the series, it was still Saban that had it.
Yeah.
So there were still filler episodes that pissed me off, and then I'm always like, I'm back forward about that because I'm like, does it piss me off because the filler sucks and never see it again, or do I don't like the characters? I don't know, because when I see filler and Down to Fury, it doesn't bother me as much, but I don't know if it's because I like the characters or it's written better. And I thought because when Down to Fury came out is when Saban was completely lost ties with it, because by season 2 of Beast Morphers, Saban's name is removed from the top and it's just all Hasbro. So I felt like now they're not held back by the old traditions of what Power Rangers used to be, and then the writers can, maybe it's not even the writer's fault, maybe it is Saban. That there is no confirmation, this is all just theory and it's all just out of respect. It's just shit that, you know, in the end, anyone can just say I'm bitching over a kid's show, but then that kind of undermines all the adults fans, and it's just kind of a paradox argument. Either way, the Dino Fury filler still doesn't bother me as much. Now, there was a lot of Blue Ranger love that I'm not fond about, because he just, you know, he's the asshole.
Yeah, the only justification I see for that is he's the most
flawed,
broken one out of all of them, because you have Izzy, who really is perfect in every way, and you also have Zato, who's pretty pure morally. He hasn't really had any
other than Massacre, somewhat plot.
No,
this one is
not even. This isn't a plot.
It does have plot at the very end, and that's what I do like when episodes have filler, but then there's something sprinkled at the end, so it's not a total pointless episode.
Yeah.
But
also, wait, a couple episodes prior, you see, I don't know which, I think it's episode 14 or 15. Void Knight takes his helmet off.
Yeah, and he's
He is pretty handsome, if I say so myself.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm surprised I didn't make the wife wake up right there.
it looks like a mix of James Marsden and what's the name of the guy from Zoolander?
Oh,
I literally said his name earlier today.
not Derek Zoolander, but I don't know what other guys are in other than
No, the main character.
Derek Zoolander.
Yeah, but the actor's name.
Oh, shit. Night Museum. Ben Stiller.
Ben. I kept having Bill Murray in my head.
I thought you were saying Wow guy.
No, that's
Which
Owen
also
Wilson.
like-
No, Ben Stiller and James Marsden.
Two blonde.
James Marsden's the guy from Sonic the Hedgehog movie. He's also in Hairspray.
Oh yeah, I always mix him up with
Ben Stiller.
I also mix him up with Daddy's Home. Will Ferrell and who?
Mark Wahlberg. They don't even look the same.
They're kind of like the same type of movie.
No, Mark Wahlberg's like this.
They're always like, I'm with an animal and I'm in a plot with Smurfs, or I'm with CGI. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Mark
just-
Wahlberg's like, how you doing, buddy?
And also, Mark Wahlberg was in another movie where he's in a car with like an animal, right? Like people made that connection with the Sonic movie.
No, that's just James Marsden. James Marsden, for some reason, has been in multiple movies where he's in a car with an animated creature.
Oh yeah, not Mark
And
Wahlberg.
someone said, why is this even a trope?
Yeah, with him with Sonic and like the exact same.
Him with
scene
Sonic and then
arrangement.
him with the bunny rabbit from Hop.
The point is, one is hot. And he's trying to. All we know about him is that
He's trying to
stole
bring his
armor.
lover back?
He stole armor that Zato kind of recognized, but I don't think he connects that.
Wait, we know he stole the armor?
In episode 1, he goes, "Where did you steal that armor from? It doesn't matter." And I thought he was referring to that his sword looks just like his,
gotcha.
but Zato doesn't really point that out, so I assume it's just like a copycat.
Yeah.
But it does. It can use keys. It uses the henchman key, and that's what he's able to control henchmen. So I think we'll know more about Void Knight next season because I don't think he's dead. How did his helmet get back?
No,
to the
he
base?
didn't. No, he didn't die. Well, I'm not convinced he died because knowing these Power Rangers series, especially like in the sequel series of the initial one, they always bring the main villain back. The main villain
Yeah.
always gets destroyed in the end once and for all.
Yeah, it was only Ninja Steel where they actually Galvanax did die in season 1, and then they had Matamodius take over to reflect.
Yeah,
that.
but Matamodius is sick. I like Matamodius.
Yeah, I do.
as a villain.
I prefer our version, but
Maybe that's why I like
I like the actors
Matamodius.
more. No disrespect to the original, but
Odious.
with the writing.
The makeover was just
another body swap
it's,
episode.
It's
Done
an
to death.
It's an Amelia centric episode where she's trying to get Pop to sleep with this other girl, and she just tries to change him. But because they swap bodies, Zato and Amelia swap, so it's actually Zato giving Pop instructions
In Amelia's body.
in
which-
Amelia's body, which Amelia apologizes, even though Zato as Amelia says to be himself, which I never understood why Pop didn't just go, but you told me to be myself.
Well, it's funny because the body swap doesn't really even affect that plot because all the most he does is just he goes, your voice sounds different, and then kisses on the forehead, and then Zato's like,
Yeah, and then you have, so he like kisses her,
I like that.
he kisses Amelia, and then Amelia goes. Like, just the most deadpan expression.
oh, like Kanye staring at the camera. Not much to it, but at the end, Pop-Up did discover the discovery of the cosmic Zord keys. In terms of Gold and Red's
I liked it.
backstory,
Don't care. I liked it.
very fucking dark because like their team is dead. Like I thought they were alive because we saw the Rangers come back, but no, they were just nightmare holograms. Now the voices of them repeating the same damn lines, holy shit, was obnoxious as hell.
Yeah, it was very NPC.
But at the same time, I guess that's what it's like having like PTSD in your head about.
Yeah,
shit
dude,
you're responsible
especially
for.
having something traumatic. Like, I know I don't have PTSD, but I know people that struggle with PTSD. Replayed in your head, same feelings, same stress, same scares, like same everything.
They all
All the feelings and everything, and it just goes over and over and over again. And that's what happened with Ion and Zato. They have the same nightmare of them having to leave the Zord, and the two of them barely escaping, except for their comrades who ended up dying. So when they find the keys, which by the way did not know they connected, I thought that was really cool. I did like that the Raptors were like, I'm when they.
And I don't think I've ever seen like a black hole like attack from any like Ranger series. That they steal the Blue Ranger's mom's technology, because Void Knight said, fuck the Sporix, I'm gonna just steal directly from the morphing grid to power my weapon.
Oh yeah, we should probably say that in the last episode they figured out that by tapping into the morphing grid it had enough power to recharge
The
the
cosmic
morpher,
key.
because Zato used the cosmic key to transport to this planet where the two Zords, the Shadow and Light Zord, were hidden. And Zato goes out there, but then the key wasn't powerful enough to keep a portal, and so they connected the key to the creature, and then it realized that the morphing grid powered it enough to make a portal big enough for Ion and the keys to go through.
And they went to the
Void
planet
Knight-
construction site canyon. That's my favorite planet.
Planet Quarry. Planet Quarry. Sure.
And what's funny is that the Rangers, I mean, I know they've been dealing with Void Knight's shit for a while, and yeah, he is a threat, but they don't really have a justification. They don't have a justification for why they gotta, like, murder him and his wife.
And his lover.
Like, I really love the scene when fucking Izzy slashes it and then goes, hey, Boydie! But
Yeah, that was
in
funny.
terms of
That was funny.
why they don't question what he's doing. I mean, I guess when a villain like is in the wrong destroying the city, you don't really have to question it. But I still feel like isn't there like a fucking human in there that I just murdered? I don't know.
But I will say the one thing of that episode that really stuck out to me, other than the fact that I think it was really good for a season finale. It kind of wrapped up some loose ends, but it kept just enough to keep you like, oh, what happens next? I liked the fact that the Rangers demorphed and the mom figured out who they were. They're pretty good about hiding their identity. So I thought, even though they all wear the fucking color, yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But I appreciated the fact that even she was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. He was.
She wasn't like,
you know?
she was just impressed.
Blue didn't have to be dubbed over by some other guy anymore.
Better because they actually show their identity, and the mom. Well, I also appreciate the fact that the mom's a scientist, so she's not
The moms are really helpful for the show in general.
Yeah,
like she has
like the fact that
crazy technology.
mom is a good asset, so it's nothing like super like taxing, you know.
I mean, like she's still more impressive than the guy that cured cancer and venom.
I like the fact that Santa had a magic notebook. I also like the fact that the Christmas episode just wasn't another clip show, because you mentioned that. You mentioned that most of them are just clip shows. So I appreciate the fact that it was an original plot.
Yeah, with Slither.
With Slither and Mucus. So, you know, the dynamic duo is back. So I appreciated that.
I like that Santa is the same actor from Dino Charge and Ninja Steel. So he's just some multi-dimensional fucking time traveling freak.
Well, the other thing that was cool too is to keep an essence of the clip shows. Instead of doing the actual clips, they did Secret Santas. And so everybody gave a gift to an item that was from a previous episode.
Yeah, and then I really enjoyed Slither. They used the footage of Weissel drawing himself, like stroking himself to himself, and like, "Hello, small me."
Hello, small me. Tuck and roll, Tucker.
Yeah, and then I mentioned the monsters are funny, but so I can't play the clip visual, but I can play the audio. This is what a samurai monster said when he dies. Now cut to a chicken monster, and let's see what pun he does.
Whoa! We clipped his wings.
I don't know what's the transition, but after 10 years, monsters are fucking, like, terrified that they're getting
Dude, that shit had me dying.
Murdered.
That moment specifically had me dying, because I don't think Joe noticed it the first time. I pointed it out, and then he just was like, I never noticed that. It was so funny.
I watch that part every time where he's getting slashed 5 times, explodes in the air, and then explodes again. And then while he's screaming for like bloody murder, the Ranger's
Yo,
like,
we clipped his wings.
we clipped his wings. And then Weissel, Slither does it again, where it's like, big me, stop, drop, and roll, or whatever.
He just like, I don't know what the fuck he does. He just like falls through. I think overall as a series, I think Dino Fury is pretty good. There are definitely a few weak points, but I think overall everybody who's in the show feels like they want to be there. They're very strong in their character choices, and I think there's not really too many weak links in it compared to past seasons.
Yeah.
I would say out of all of them, I would say like the weakest links is probably just Mucus, just because I just think she's like super obnoxious compared to Slither. Like Slither is like annoying, but like in a really funny in like really fun way.
But
Mucus is
she
just.
did have some jokes that made you chuckle.
Oh no, absolutely. But I think just in general, like her character is just like naive. I think if she had a little more oomph in like her power, I think she'd be a lot better as a character. I also think Pop is kind of boring as a character because only because of his vocal inflections. Like he doesn't change the way he talks, and it annoys me.
But I do like that he did bring up one point in an episode that I glossed over until I watched the second time, is that he used to work at Area 62, same where Boy Night is.
Yeah, that I did remember.
It seems like they're planting something where maybe they'll figure out what happened to Amelia's parents. Some people think it is Boy Night and the
Void Knight's lover.
tank girl. I don't know. I don't know. That's the only thing we got. I mean, they also did a close-up of Amelia fighting Boy Knight like head on, and I don't know if that's just unintentional or they're really trying to plant something. So that's a little bit of
I definitely think they were trying to plant the seed.
Because yeah, I mean, her parents disappeared in some mysterious act, and then that's why she's like obsessed with the paranormal, because she has like a little bit of trauma with that. Then maybe that's why she quips. Is to cope with the humor. But yeah, for series review, it's the last 10 years have been just kind of since Disney sold the rights back to Saban.
Yeah.
Really, only ones I could say before Down on Fury that were like pretty adequate or solid were Down on Charge season 1 and about like half of Beast Morphers. There are a lot more problems I have with Beast Morphers, and I'm trying to like not have that connected to a Sentai as a bias. Like I actually just had personal issues that I've had with other seasons. But Down to Fury, no, I think as soon as it started, it's been really solid. It's been a very simple thing. It's been a great connection to other shows, and I'm really excited for season 2. I won't go full on, thinking that season 2 will knock it out of the park, because every season 2 and every super season always drops the ball. So I'm going to go in a very neutral, but I'm still excited to see the characters again, because they got their powers back thanks to the Green Morphin Master, and the best thing is it's off Nickelodeon. I don't have to get fucking cable. I don't have to pirate anything. I can be on Netflix and watch it in HD like a normal person that pays $10 a month for it. So.
Yeah. I think for me too, with Dino Fury especially, there's a lot of more pros that make me, like an adult, feel the need to watch it and be like, okay, there's actually something here for me. Because there's that stigma that Power Rangers is for kids and it's a kids show.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, I guess, but that's the same as saying like anime is for kids. Like, it's not.
If
it's
it was
for
all for kids,
audience.
then they could just throw in a pile of paint smearing around and kids will laugh at it, but then adults won't. But the fact that they put any meat at all, they want to show kids some quality, but it's like saying like SpongeBob's just for kids. If you've watched the first 3 seasons, it's fucking all the adult humor is
it's
great to watch. It is
great.
It's for everyone. It literally, there's an E in it or a TVY7 on it for a reason. Yeah, as we said before, you can check out our live streams at twitch.tv/SuperUnknownPerson, and if you miss any streams, you can catch it at Substream's VOD channel.
So,
Pack Bros, I didn't mention.
Yeah. We also have a Let's Play channel. It's Passive Aggressive Gaming Brothers or Pack Bros. Currently, we are re-uploading our Sonic Forces stuff. We're finishing up Spyro 3 finally.
Finishing Crash 4.
We're finishing up Crash 4. We have Celeste coming along the way, Ed Nettie for the PS2, Spider-Man PS4.
And then the rest I'll get back to you once I have it confirmed, because I always change it.
And also, let us know in the comments. I know I know it seemed like I was just joking about a Go Busters style, like, retrospective, but I'm down to do it.
Yeah, let me know if you want to see something like that.
If you guys would want to see something like that, we could start drafting up like rough drafts. I have a lot of other ideas that we're kind of cooking and brainstorming out right now that I think you guys are really gonna love.
Now, lastly, you can click the 2 end screens here, assuming this video doesn't get claimed for made for kids. In that case, fuck, piss, tits, boob,
pussy, bitch,
die.
fuck, piss.